Welcome back, guys. It is time for our second best of three of the day, and this is do or die for Mad Lions and Mousesports. And who would have ever thought we'd be in this situation? But that is just what Counter-Strike is all about. It is the madness that can happen here, and that is the madness that we just watched, and we're about to watch some more of it as well. We can't even predict what's going on, Potter and Pip. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Good morning.
I'm waking everyone up, see, like I'm hyped, I'm ready, we're on for our games, it's time to get going with all of this. But let's take a look at this group, right, and how all of this stacks up, because I don't think when you looked at this group, anyone would be expecting to be in this position. Big 3-0, super confident, some close games, complexity in there at the moment in second, but Mousesports, what's going on?
It's a good question. What is going on within the Mousesports boot camp? I don't really know. Mad Lions as well. I think both Christine and I were thinking that they could play up, against teams like Complexity and Big. At least a single win would have been expected in one of those two games, and they just haven't delivered. So I think we find ourselves here with obviously a losers match, and whoever wins this one gets another chance to make up for it in the playoffs, and whoever loses this one will be out of the tournament. Coming into it though, Christine, I think we both can agree that the two teams in the bottom of the bracket right here, but we didn't really expect that, did we?
No, we definitely didn't, and it's been disappointing. And even the player interviews, talking to these players, they seem very deflated. They seem just as confused as we are as to what's going on their side of things. They're trying to figure it out. They're hitting their shots. Rops, he looked fantastic yesterday in his series, but they're still losing, and they're losing by a large margin. So this is really concerning, especially for the Mousesports side of things.
Yeah, it's really not looked pretty for Mousesports, but this is their time to turn it around, and it is the battle of the teams without a win there to go head-to-head. I'm going to remind everyone at home while we're doing this is that you can go on to DreamHackPick'em.com to cast your votes on who you think is going to win these games, because my oh my, this has been oh so difficult to predict. But you guys were talking about it, right? Mousesports on your screen right now. What on earth has gone wrong? It really doesn't seem like they have been able to adapt and change too much here. They're kind of stuck to the same old system. I know you were speaking before, Pimp, about them looking to have people on save rounds, for example, maybe when it's not so normal to see it. But currently, this isn't working.
No, it's not working, and it's a good question, because what is going on within the Mousesports camp? You can try to analyze what Regin, the coach, is saying whenever he's getting interviewed. You can try to analyze what Kerrigan is saying when he's getting interviewed. And what I sense from the Mousesports camp as of right now is the fact that they are trying a lot. They're trying to implement a lot of new, as you were saying, like innovative stuff, in terms of how do they buy, how do they save, all that kind of stuff. But maybe what they should be focusing on is getting these players to perform. Regin, the coach, constantly keeps saying in the interviews that he doesn't have a hands-on feeling with the players. He cannot, go over to them, look them in the eyes and tell them to get it up, or get it together. And I think he needs that connection with the players. So maybe we're seeing the flaws of Mousesports right now. Maybe they're not mature enough as a unit in order to deal with this whole online situation. And that's a big disappointment as a fan of Mousesports. They were one of the best teams in the world. They're playing some wonderful Counter-Strike, some beautiful Counter-Strike. And now it looks like they're about to go out of the DreamHack tournament before they even begin.
And it really is when it comes to Mousesports, right? That we look at the players. You look at Woxy, you look at Rops, you look at Frozen. A lot of these are like young stars alongside the veterans in Chris and what Kerrigan can bring to the table. But at the moment, we're not seeing them be able to deliver in an environment that actually these guys were more used to, right? Given their age and given where they've come from before Mousesports, online was their playing field.
It really was. Online, it should be the comfort zone, right? Rops making his way through the FPL circuit, Frozen being so young, being so new to being a top echelon player. So it is very concerning. And maybe Mousesports need to revisit their roles. I'm not sure. I just remember last year, Mousesports were in a very similar position as they had their rise. As soon as Kerrigan joined, it was Frozen that was struggling to find his ground, find his voice within the squad. And they made a quick role change, put Frozen into some more comfortable positions, and the success, it was almost immediate, right? So I'm not really sure what Mousesports need, but they need something, especially here in this series today.
Well, let's see what they think they might need in this series to take the win, because it is a truly do or die matter for these guys.
We didn't have any time to prepare for Mad Lions, but when we played before, we were changing our stress and stuff, and we were playing against them very well because of that. But we never faced them after the roster changes, so it's gonna be a great matchup also. We'll see.
So there's decent potential here. Chris J is looking like he wants to fight this all on his own. Bear in mind, he's only on 13 HP. The flashbang comes through. They should know that there's someone close, but he's looking for both. He wants both kills, and Chris J is going to find it as well. Leaves it all onto Roy, who's only on 10 HP. He got legged very early on. Chris is going to wipe them all down. 13 HP, 4 kills, easy.
I think we are ready for DreamHack, and we have been practicing a lot after we lost in Major, like very bad way. So I think we fixed our mistakes. So we will see if it worked or not. We're gonna show you how good we are in this tournament. You can believe us.
I don't think we believe you just yet, Watson. You got to show us in this game for sure. And one thing I'm going to sit on that is that they say like they didn't have too much time to prepare and stuff. Okay, yes, we're playing back-to-back games, but I'm not really sold on those excuses, man.
No, definitely not. And I mean, we heard Kerrigan in his interview yesterday speaking about the fact that his players and probably himself as a team, they keep tending to make the same mistakes over and over again. And they're discussing it as a team, they're practicing it in their practices and dry running it. But once again, the individuals, when they're reacting, when they're making their decisions in the game and adjusting to whatever their enemies are throwing at them, that's when we're seeing these mistakes coming out of the Mousesports members, whether they re-peak too much, whether they're not peaking enough. These small things, they start to add up at the end of the day. And you can absolutely see it's mentally draining for Kerrigan as the in-game leader. I mean, he looked exhausted yesterday after that series. So hopefully their communication is up to par today so that they can have some more faster adjustments with these mistakes.
They're certainly going to need to, and especially when they're going up against the Mad Lions, because, okay, we haven't seen a great amount from them considering they've just come off a Flashpoint win, but we were talking about this before, Pimp, right? Going into Flashpoint, it was a lesser skilled teams that they had to go up against. Now they should be able to use this confidence they had getting a big win in order to take charge and take control and perform better than what we're seeing so far.
Yeah, and it has not been looking good for Mad Lions. Let's be honest about it, James. And the win at Flashpoint, let's not call it a fluke, because I think that was the culmination of them actually been playing some solid Counter-Strike for a longer period of time. They've been stabilizing the roster. They tried to destabilize it, I guess you could say, when they changed out the in-game leader, removed Hunt and put in Astillion, but it didn't really do a big of a difference, right? I think Christine was onto something yesterday when she said that you can see that Astillion is slowly but surely trying to implement his way when the Mad Lions camp, and it did work at Flashpoint. That being said, though, I don't know where to put them, right? I thought to myself that, okay, if they can keep up at the level we saw in Flashpoint, this is a team that can compete for a top 10 spot in the world. But what we've seen so far in this tournament leaves me with a feeling that Mad Lions may not be ready for it. I'm looking at certain players as well. Aiko, right? He was playing so well during the Flashpoint season. A phenomenal AWP player. Very exciting to watch as well. Super, super good with the movement. You know, keep out a look for him in this game as well. But in this tournament so far, he's not been playing well. So we need to see some of that individual brilliance, dare I say it, come up from the Mad Lions. We need to see Astillion step it up as an in-game leader as well, and we need to see them do it again today against Mousesports, who are also bleeding right now, and as we already established, not playing great Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's the battle of who can play better on the day and who's going to bring that A game when it comes to it. But when we're looking at the players on this line, you mentioned Aiko just then, and while he hasn't been having a great game, the games they do actually have more success in is when he's able to come alive. But that's also a worrying sign for me that you have to hardcore rely on one player like that.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think it kind of falls in line with Mad Lions' CT struggles, right? We saw it on Vertigo the first day, then we saw it on Nuke. It just seems like Mad Lions are finding their rhythm on their T side, but as soon as we switch over to the CT side, it just falls apart. A-Core, Jacob just mentioned, he's known for having good movement, good decision-making, but his decision-making so far in DreamHack, it's been abysmal. He's been re-peeking into angles that he knows he shouldn't be re-peeking into, and he's been trying to make hero plays, the I think I can mentality, where he's trying to pull Mad Lions out of the dirt, and it's not working out. He's not looking like an all-star opera that I know him to be.
Well, let's see if they could pull themselves out of the dirt ahead of this game.
Preparing against Mousesports, we haven't done that much yet, but we know that Peacemaker is doing a lot for the team, so we are well prepared. Against Mousesports, I think we can play without pressure 100% because it's online, and I think we're better prepared because we're used to playing online qualifiers, open qualifiers, close qualifiers to bigger tournaments.
Into a 1v1 now already, tagged relatively low on HP. Shush, just trying to peek the angle, trying to find him over the top of the smoke, knowing that peeking through this would have high risk behind it. The other risk, though, is that he currently doesn't have a kit. And whether or not there is one on the ground, we can see it just behind him. He's going to be going for the fight, and he's going to find the kill.
A lot of things have changed lately. We're playing online, and us as a team switching content with Brazilian. So I think we're much more motivated now to step up, and we played a lot now. Yeah, we played a lot more than we used to, and we have shown really good results in practice. So we will come prepared.
They're certainly going to need to come prepared for Mousesports, but they're saying they're playing a lot more. They're saying they're motivated more. Well, the results aren't showing it, lads.
No, they're not, right? And they need to step it up. Christine, you said it. The first day we saw them, they're looking rusty, and I agree with you, they're still looking rusty. And if that's the level they're going to show up today against a team like Mousesports, despite Mousesports not playing well, I think it's going to be super, super tough for them.
Yeah, it really will be. Let's have a look at this veto, though, and see how we are going to get on between these two. Because when it comes down to this, right, we're going to see, I guess, Mousesports have got more that they can play with here, but Mad Lions, they need to really look towards their comforts.
Ooh, and I'm glad that Mad Lions didn't pick Vertigo out here. I was afraid that they would have this mentality, third time's a charm. Surely this time around we'll do it. But I like to see this Inferno pick coming out. This is not a normal comfort pick for Mad Lions. They just recently started incorporating Inferno back into their map rotations. So once again, I'm expecting to see some rusty plays, but as Shush mentioned in his interview, they've been putting in a lot of work. They've been putting in the practice hours. So the ideas, they certainly should be there.
Yeah, and I think Mousesports, right, they used to look super, super strong on Inferno, but as far as I remember, I think they lost seven or maybe 8 games in a row on Inferno. So if you're Mad Lions, you're thinking to yourself, not only are we playing a map that we're getting more comfortable on in Inferno, but we're also playing a map that Mousesports have next to none confidence on at the moment. I think it's 7 losses in a row, and that's unheard of if you're Mousesports. They used to be super, super good on a map like Inferno. So just by judging at the video, looking at the win percentages right here, I think both teams can be relatively happy. But if I'm Mousesports, I'm scared of that Inferno pick. That's a strong potential map for Mad Lions to start out with.
And it's crazy to see how far actually Mousesports have fallen in all of this, right? In terms of how well they used to play so many maps against the top teams here. And it's slowly just gotten so bad for these guys.
Yeah, and I think it really just has to do with the individuals. When you start playing maps like Inferno, it's very important that your Opera and Woxic, he remains a consistent form so that his A players can have something to depend on, have something to rely on. So if Woxic is having a bad game over towards that A bomb site, it just crumbles, right? So we need Woxic to step up for the Mousesports side, and we need A-Core to step up on the Lions side as well.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. It's time for us to get into the break, and then when we come back, it's game time.
We had 2 questions walking into the European day of Counter-Strike, and the first one's been answered. We have the topping of the group by Big, but the follow-up question, and the more exciting question in my mind, is who is going home? Mousesports versus Mad Lions, elimination on the line, clearly favoring Mousesports, the Betway odds, but folks, I don't think that anybody should be written off in this matchup. It's Scrawny and Launders to bring you guys the second EU game of the day, and it's already underway as we have A-Core peeking down middle on Inferno, to which he sees nothing.
You want to replicate land pressure? All you have to do is make it an elimination match and then watch the 2 gladiators in the pit go at it. See the nervousness. This is a match that if it gets close, people will whiff. People will get scared, and there will be flubs.
It's going to get dirty, and I kind of like that. But right now, Ascillion trying to time the smoke. Just peeking around the top of Banana, looking for a little bit of contact, and he sees it. Mousesports not wanting to go all in off of it just yet, but if they had, oh boy, Asilian on his own, CZ in hand. Gonna make sure he keeps that weapon out. Smokes fly over the rotation coming from Mad Lions, but whoa, Mousesports not gonna face him on the bomb site, rather opting to go around construction, and that's just gonna completely unroot him. Shush has been able to get one headshot versus Kerrigan, so we are in the 4v4, but it's this deep CT control because of their variation on the smokes. Ross, he's gonna be playing right next to it, and Mad Lions try to run boost players through. Frozen, he gets himself one headshot, and he's got another couple in front of him, but as he's reloading, he is gunned down. 2 versus 2, even keel once more. They see the players in the back of the bomb site, and they just have to land their shots, but they won't. Mousesports follow through and pick up first pistol.
That looked like Walmart on Black Friday. Run boosting through the smoke as soon as the doors opened, but what a beautiful split. A lot of teams have been playing this one-man setup on B, trying to have that person delay. But if someone gets into CT spawn before your arch rotators made it into CT to help you defend, and you got to fight against construction like we saw, you've got to deal with a swarm of Ts that are coming your way. It's a really strong strat by Mousesports. That would be strong versus 2 players, let alone 1. So good that they won that round, even though it came close. A couple of whiffs there by Frozen. I hope he's feeling good, because that didn't look like a super crispy pistol round by him. Either way, we've got a buy here.
Individuals are looking good today, Launders. That's my fear is you know, this is their last chance. We've had a couple of hiccups throughout the first few days. No more time for that. No more margin of error. And there are errors being made. Bubsky catching them over top of the smoke with his MP9. This is a 5 versus 3 with only that one SMG for Mad Lions.
I feel the exact same way as you, Connor. You know, you want to make sure everyone's playing in their tip-top condition. And Frozen, he's hired guns because of his aim. First and foremost, smart player, young, great aimer. And you want to make sure he's working at his full capacity at all times. Nice round here from Frozen to push through the smoke. And this is a 2v4 situation that they're having to fight their way back into. They've got the bomb down now. Smoke comes up. Shush is pushing in. Chance there for the Deagle. One at Oranges. It seemed to know that Rops might be in that corner. So Pubsky, can he help him out?
He definitely got this one rolling. He's the reason they got pressured over into this B site. And Shush with the Deagle needs no teammate. 2 frags off the cannon. And Mousesports fumbling the ball. They will open up with that pistol round win, but that's a big 3-piece from Woxic trying to hang on. He is the reason they got anything in this round, because they were denied entirely at A. And that post plant fell the way of the Danes.
Yo, credit to Shush for getting the first and last kill, but I will say I'm a bit nervous for Mousesports looking at this, because you've got Woxic fluffing a spray, you've got them taking too much damage on every fight, Drops whiffs there, Wopsic couldn't trade this man who had 30 HP. There was a few moments where you're like, whoa, what is going on here, Mousesports? Wake up, guys. This is a really important match, and there's no way you should be losing fights like that.
Like Mousesports are going to try as well. I mean, we've seen this consistent force buying from them, even falling into question at times. They keep enough money on Chris so that they can ensure the op gets picked up once they decide to buy. Galil for Woxic. One of the individuals who actually I feel has been struggling in the online realm of Counter-Strike. And that's a worry for Mousesports, because we know just how badass Woxic can be when he is hitting tip-top form.
I mean, all his most famous frag highlight videos are from these FPL games too, just like was pointed out on the desk, so.
Ooh, Shush. He's got the position on the balcony to cut down the first one, falling downwards and trying to stay alive, but Chris gets him with the Tech 9. Acor close on the smoke with the silent M4 as Frozen, turning his attention back down middle, catches that B flank, an aggressive decision from Mad Lions to try and corral these Ts, both of which are closer to the site. They couldn't find Acor if they tried, though. He has somehow gotten away from the threat and now tucks himself away behind the hay bales. Woxic getting his hands onto the M4. You know, he walks right into Roy, who had worked his way through Balk after they cleared out that flank. And there you have it. Mad Lions, they do what Mousesports couldn't. They convert after their first round win.
You know that the apartment's door hit is always terrifying to jump off the balcony with a good flash, especially with the pistols, where you can be relatively accurate while you're in the air. You're moving a bit faster, so pretty good for Mad Lions to be able to stop that. 2 alive means that, you know, Mousesports did a good job on that round, but no bomb plant for them. no money here. Chris J has decided to go and grab full armor to go with the Deagles. He had a little bit more money than everybody else. Maybe they're foregoing the op option in the next round. But yeah, Mad Lions also look a little bit shaky.
Ow. I felt that one. Poor Kerrigan. Just kind of, trying to pump up the troops here. Everybody's shoulder to shoulder on the T-ramp.
Yeah, Mad Lions not taking any risks. All the way back. I think Asilian's going to go drop an HE down there when he feels comfortable enough. Flash comes out, and HE off the half wall. Ooh, lands a bit short. That's going to be a sign for Mousesports. They know they're out of HE grenades.
Yeah, so don't be surprised if they start to encroach closer and closer. Hell, if they were to sprint through this wildly, could have found timing as the CTs decide to boost, but Roy's going to stay close here to Asilian, who plays the counter flash. No utility for Mousesports. Just, again, that one set of Kevlar for Chris. An oddity in this round, but they rotate a third player over just as the T's decide to dry run this. They try and use the element of surprise by just sprinting in. Rop's going to be able to get 2 with his Deagle, so something for Mousesports at least, but that's that. Mad Lions, 3-1 start.
That was a little bit disappointing. I thought they were going to more explode into the B site, and it felt like they just trickled in one by one, making it very easy for each player of Mad Lions to deal with it. They made so much progress without getting spotted, and then at the very last bit, when they're all in this death ball, decide to enter individually and not give themselves a way to trade. Whatever, we move on from that. We've got now Banana down both ways, a push down mid. Bubsky starts off this round with a Tempest. There's damage on Kerrigan as well. Trade in, though, from Rops. And that'll be an okay spot here for Mousesports. They land slightly on their feet. They get mid-control back. They've actually scared Mad Lions into heavily rotating over to the A site. Looks like Rops is going to make his way in forwards as well.
Yeah, Rob's trying to be the difference maker here. He catches A-Core before he could fall back, but the CTs did such a good job of leaving B. Awesome 4K coming out of Robs here. Single-handed showing, but still it's in the 1 versus 1. 4 frags for Mr. Cool, and it's still not enough. Bubsky, ice cold. Comes back around on short, denies Chris J with the headshot. Let it be known, he didn't have a helmet and dies to the single bullet because he bought Kevlar last round.
He bought full armor last round.
I'm not saying that's the reason. It's not the only reason he dies, but hey, man, could have definitely made a difference. Clean as ever, Bubsky. 11 and 2.
That's absolutely the main reason. That's the only reason you always buy head armor on T side is so that you can survive a headshot from an M4 and you have an extra damage. Holy crap! Walks it, couple of 1-deeks, and they're off to the races again. Why wouldn't you try to entry B?
Yeah, the only question is, can Bubsky stop it once more? He goes for the wild spray through the smoke. He's trying to double back around to the coffins with his teammate. So at least they're able to respond quickly here, but Woxic well equipped, and Kerrigan, are you kidding me? 3 Deagle headshots out of Mousesports. They're a little flustered after that last round, I feel. And so everybody's stepping up when they absolutely had to. They absolutely owed Rops this sort of a round.
I can't believe Rops ended up getting 4 kills and they still lost. And he looked, I mean, he was looking like Twists yesterday on Inferno today with all the shots that he was hitting. So Mad Lions instant save. There's always going to be a round where somebody can do that. We saw that KNG versus Liquid was able to get those 2 CZ kills top of Banana. Every once in a while, the second player is extremely vulnerable on a rush like that if you get the first player off a very nice shot, because the other player's in the back throwing grenades, and then that makes the second kill much easier to grab. Here, he waits for the second repeat as he posts up on the angle, and it's just an amazing reaction there. Oh, also a fantastic shot from Kerrigan. To ice it out completely. 2v5, you can't even think about the retake. 3v5, they might hang out a bit, see what's going on. So now Mad Lions, they've bought down to 0, but they only have 2 MP9s in op on A-Core at the very minimum because it was saved. But apart from that, just pistols.
Oh my. If this is a sign of things to come within this series, we are going to have a treat on our hands. I think you were right. You know, you hang that elimination over the head of these gladiators, and everybody starts swinging for the fences. Another wild opening pick, but this time it favors Mad Lions. And Acor, he was pissed because just a round earlier, we saw him go peeking into alt mid, hit the shot, but gets gunned down by Robs as he tries to run forward. Now there is that missed smoke. CT's trying to hold 2 more kills to the tally, and what's left of Mousesports is now limping in because they don't even have their bomb. Woxic tries to get a kill inside of the smoke, but that's going to just leave Robs 1v5.
Once again, all dead in the exact same spot. Take a look at the minimap. All the yellow X's in untradeable. If they all die on the same location, that's because they didn't explode there at the same time. That means that every time someone came to trade, they died on the exact same angle as the last person. They weren't both there and died simultaneously. That would have been a trade in favor of Mousesports. So now, yeah, Rob's kind of the best player on the team these days. Has been left in a 1v5. Had a round dropped where he got 4 kills and left a teammate in a 1v1. You know, would have been nice to obviously have him up there, hopefully helping with the entries, but at the same time, he's probably going to be the best player to clutch. So you've got to hope your teammates can do their job. Really, you can't just do everything yourself. And it was an incredible shot from Acor to start that round off, though. Chris J in his side of apartments through the wall.
You saw him flirting around with it too. The fact that he was so damaged actually by the tease and still didn't decide to retreat, sticks around long enough to decide he'll take the Hail Mary shot. You know, he was waiting for a confirmed kill. Obviously not ideal to go fishing through the walls, but hey man, he hooks him.
It was like a Chris J shot almost. You know, those are the kind of shots that Chris J loves to go for and usually hits. So a timeout called here for the Mousesports. Mouse have lost 7 in a row on Inferno and have had 5 or fewer rounds 3 times. That is a terrible stat line because it piles onto the fact that they've won 20% of their 10 games. And so that means they haven't seen a win. And they haven't seen a win. And they've only had 2 wins and they haven't seen a win in 7 games.
Yeah, definitely not on fire. Well-titled tidbit right there. But here we go. Gun round, we're back into it. Molotov back down mid. I heard you kind of scratching your head when we saw this veto, of course, and that is because Mad Lions, you know, you talk about how bad the stat line is for Mousesports on Inferno. We just haven't really seen much of Mad Lions at all on this map.
Yeah, well, I think as Shush was mentioning in the pregame interview, we haven't really prepared for Mousesports, but he knows Peacemaker's a great coach, so we feel prepared. Or something along those lines. So maybe he's had a hand in helping them develop Inferno. And it's always interesting to see teams pull out a map that isn't part of their veto. It has to happen at some point. There's always going to be a match where it looks ridiculous from an analyst perspective, but the team has been in private fixing things, adapting to things, scrimming, and have brought it to a point where they can try and test it. It might not always start off so well, but still, it's important to include maps like Inferno in your playbook.
Bubsky's trying to find that timing inside of short. Kerrigan's gonna decide to pick up the heat here. Charges in, right into the crossfire. That's Shush over towards the pit, and Acor on back bomb site. Look how quickly Mousesports, who had the rush, come to a halt because Frozen could very well find timing. He sees Roy with a knife in hand and destroys him for it. Frozen doubling back in to clear out Moto, and he's not going to win that duel. So Robs is now very much alone. Another clutch for him to try and pick up, but it's shut down. Acor is going to take the shot, and then most importantly, lands his 1 bullet. Skewers Rops to the backside of short, and we've got Mad Lions with yet another round.
3 men up. Yeah, there's just, once again, a lack of ferocity there crossing into the site. Acor should be pushed to the point that he has to take like some kind of no-scope shot or hide behind a box to delay, but instead he's able to sit there on the site, not flash blind, not behind a smoke, killing 2 players from the safety of the site box with teammates around him. So lane is a very difficult part of the map to take, of course. If you don't get the first kill, you know, things can go sour very quickly. So that could have been an issue for them. But as long as the fight's still going on, you can't run out of flashes and then still try to continue onto the site versus the crossfire. You really have to act on that one moment, pounce on it, and try to get into the site as quickly as possible. But yeah, that's how she goes sometimes. It does feel like Mousesports right now just are lacking some of the intensity they need to win some of these trades.
Chris J's AK looking for something, looking for one head to pop here versus Mad Lions, and okay, he's got it, but he also falls to 14 HP, doubling back and dying in mid instead. So Mad Lions 5-round lead, 7-2 score. Looking good for them. This was Kerrigan dying first. He decides to run through the Molotov trying to find timing, but Roy is looking rock solid with this A1S.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, I don't think Mad Lions have done anything special quite yet. We had a nice pistol round from Mousesports, but since then it's looked extremely flimsy. So it's really on Mousesports to just give them a hard round to win, right? On a fundamental level, stay closer on the spacing, explode into a site when you pick it. Their approaches to get to choke points have been great because, you know, Kerrigan and Chris J, is a huge amount of court IQ to have on your team. And the strategy up until the execution is great. The execution looks very flimsy. So hopefully they can sort that out. Yeah, once again, all the correct pressure being applied. We've got a 4-man setup on A, unless they put, and it's Mad Lions who are not biting on any of this banana pressure. So nice on them to actually read this so well.
Again, though, this is the CTs just finding the terrorists mid-execution. Bubsky, dude, he is lucky to be alive, but, you know, he still prioritizes the target, sees that Chris J could very well spot him and doesn't want to die to that, so he quickly gets it. And doesn't try to push the issue either. I mean, I think that Mad Lions aren't going to overextend into the greediness of anything more than a 5 versus 3. They can lock down their crossfires now. Barring any sort of drastic situation here at the B site where the 2 CTs fall short, they're going to be fine. And A-Core, well, he makes it look even more convincing, following up that 1 op kill and then repositioning, calling for his teammates to come over because the little that's left of Mousesports is indeed pressuring inwards. There it is. That's what we're looking for. Woxic connecting 2 quick headshots. That's going to enable the bomb plant for Robs. He gets himself a 3rd, gunning for the 4th. Ascillion, he's going to just try to buy time because he wants to flex this 1v2. He's got his teammate shoulder to shoulder. A little bit more damage here from Woxic, and he still sits on 56, trying to cut off the tail end of it. Shush denies him anything more. Mad Lions, 8-2.
It's too much to ask, huh? The 2v5 looked so doable there. Woxic does a great job covering the smoke, almost grabs that last kill on Ascillion that would have really sealed the deal, maintained the crossfire on the T side, but couldn't pull it out. Robs can't help him either, and yeah, Mad Lions end up winning another retake and just another good hold by them. Mousesports do a lot of work this round. They go for the B control, and credit to Mad Lions. The calling right now, they're reading the setups really well. When Mousesports throw all of that utility on banana, Mad Lions don't move an inch. They don't overstack B with 2 players. They wait with 1. They hold 4 on A, and that allows 1 to roam and Bubsky to get into the halls and call out their fake mid control as well.
Dude, Mad Lions have no respect for Mousesports at this moment. Again, they decide to sprint somebody down middle, catching that alt mid timing for the T's, and then even getting away by falling that player up banana. I love it. That tempered aggression, calculated, but can they account for this? Chris J coming in and taking names. His 2nd kill already added to the tally. He tries for the 3rd inside of pit, but Roy comes in to bail him out. And Mad Lions, again, just keeping up the tempo, whether that's running down middle, exiting B, or rotating back over to the A site, nobody slowed down. 0 hesitation.
I think there's an argument to be made that when things are cloudy for the other team and you guys have been moving quickly, it's a great time to act fast as well. Don't let them figure things out in the minute 50, whatever in the round that's left. When they're getting into their default, just start to apply pressure while they're still confused about what happened last round and why they may or may not be playing badly. And just keep applying pressure as much as possible until they can respond. Just maintain the confusion on the Mousesports side. You know, these are what timeouts are for.
Oh, he's blind.
Man.
Fully blind. And A-Core still rocks Frozen's world. B has been an issue. Mad Lions coming out on top of these early aggressions over and over. Whoa.
Sometimes you can start off your day just right, do everything properly, and still spill the coffee on your keyboard.
Happens. Only once, though.
Only once. Yeah. I mean, in Counter-Strike, it can happen. It can happen over and over again with players of this caliber. Just all of your best plans get stuffed, especially with Acor opping the way he is. I mean, Chris J dying the way he did in ult, that kill right there where he's flashed for like a full second and a half. Kerrigan even delays the peak and gets opt.
Ooh, Cillian, he's going to play on top of the pallet. A fun position to try and screw around the sides of these smokes. But the op shot comes over the bow. And he backs up. Smoke grenade up and over here from Woxic, trying to set the utility for his teammates to run forward. Bomb leads the charge on short. It's a 3-man hit, and nobody checks out as Cillian. He pops up, whacks back 2, and Bubsky clears up shop.
Yeah, I think we've got attack timeout, so we're going to take an in-game insights look with Pimp and talk about what we figure out what we can learn.
Yeah, Bobsky's off to one hell of a start for Mad Lions. Let's have a look at it. Look at the confidence he's playing with. Pushing down middle, getting the kill towards Frozen. He's making it very tough for Mousesports right now. Fast forwarding it a bit. Look at him right here coming again. Coming in from this position, just taking the fights, not scared of anything. And that's the way Mad Lions is playing right now. Taking on the fights all the time. Fast forwarding a little bit more. He wins the round right here with a nice 4K. Bobsky, Mad Lions, all over the place right now.
And I think that's a really important point, just how ferocious Mad Lions are. Kings of the jungle, and for Mousesports, it's like they're just one step behind constantly. It's like watching Liquid versus MIBR yesterday on this very same map. We've got some of the same elements.
Oh, here we have it. Finally, they're able to get those CTs a little scared at the top of Banana. Just trying to flex numbers. I think Pimp's insight was dead on. The entirety of Mad Lions just playing with no fear. Looking for the aim duels. Looking to kick Mousesports while they're down. And the hit comes in. There is a T inside of the CT smoke. Ooh, could start getting awkward. Chris J, that's him. Comes back and finds them turn. Bubsky in turn. 16 and 6 now. He flashes high and just continues to try and maraud his way through their backlines. T's can't even be comfortable enough to try and go for their plant. They're already man disadvantage, and look what Bubsky's done. He's created enough of a distraction for Shush to come in as the insurance policy. Now Kerrigan's got nowhere to go except for forward, it seems. Both players on the site, rocking headshots, and Rops lands another.
Can't stop the Rops, baby. That was a sick scout shot at the CT spawn. Second one. That's just the icing on the cake. Look at this. Crispy, clean. Acor. Good night, sir. You had the op.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't see that coming. I think Kerrigan and Rops pinned in like that. When Shush comes up Banana, I thought that was a sealed deal.
Definitely. When Kerrigan stopped planting the bomb to jump up and wait for the push, it didn't seem like the push was going to come. They're going to wait that 3v2 out, force a plant, and then rush there while Rops is busy dividing his time between 2 angles.
This is like a
full
suicide
screen
bomber.
chicken. Yeah, that was like a movie shot. The chicken's like running away from the explosion.
Oh, peeking off of the balconies. Bubsky looking for more. Molly's exchanged over here towards Arch Smoke 2. Oh, Kerrigan, lucky to be alive. He's gonna have to oh, they're just getting bullied, man. Bubsky through the smoke. You know, Kerrigan falls back. Woxic says, don't worry, I'll take the front line. Poor man gets bombarded, just pummeled by Bubsky, who's not showing any signs of slowing down. Total disrespect here as they just pressure their way through Boiler, and then that's going to force Mousesports to double back towards B. Acor, are you kidding? Name one player on Mad Lions who's not playing lights out right now.
I know. I lose. You're right. This is,
I set you up to fail.
I think you did, yeah. But it goes to show, and you think about it, and you look at all these players, and you can think of a highlight. Roy on the A site, Shush on the pistols, Bubsky on the lurks. Everybody is doing their part. and playing really well. And I think that's heavily contrasted by Mousesports just not playing really well, because if they were, this would just be a more even scoreline and a really great match. But instead, it's just a great match by Mad Lions, and Mousesports made to look like fools. Cillian, 122 ADR on this map already, and he's been playing around mid along with Bubsky. And it's crazy because some of this map control, like very decent attempts at map control by Mousesports, but Mad Lions are number one, not scared, and number two, trading out almost every single time. The only times the rounds have come close, like the Woxic 2v5 2K in the B site, Rops with the 4K, they lose the round, the 1v1 on A site.
There we have it. Something to play off of. But there's still a landmine in the form of Acor. He's back behind the car, comes in with the Deagle, just looking to stay alive, but Chris J's gonna triple up on the play already. He gets clotheslined by Bubsky, who's, oh my goodness, just playing lights out. Again, no fear CS. Doesn't matter if he has to sprint from the other side of the map, he sets up his teammates to succeed. Shush, closing out the half. Mad Lions, 12-3. I mean, guys, catch your breath. I think we all have to. We'll take a break, and Mousesports are on a challenge with this CT side. We're back with the second half. And oh, how the odds have shifted. Mad Lions, hell of a start. We had that great stat brought up by Elliot during our first tactical pause that said, 7 losses in a row for Mousesports on Inferno, 3 of which I believe were 5 or less rounds. Well, it looks like 4 of which may be 5 or less rounds, unless they can pick up this pistol. And they are playing against utility. Or rather, with utility, excuse me. Not a single armored player for Mousesports in this pistol.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd love to see this work out. I actually want to know what this round is going to look like. Woxic has a kit. They've got 5 HE grenades to make them all kind of very easily killable. CZs also can come in huge, not needing to get headshots.
Please.
It all starts with the well-placed grenades.
Please, Mousesports, give us the carpet bomb. 5 frags, 5 kills. I'd pay money for that. Oh my god. I guess 2 nades is enough. Kerrigan's big brain blown away. Now Frozen in the back of the bomb site's going to get pressured by the numbers here from Mad Lions. They've got their bomb coming over, and Acor wastes no time. 2 frags are better than 5.
Okay, the round's not over, but I did not expect that at all. I can't believe I can't believe Mousesports got naded to death when they bought 5
irony.
nades. That's so amazing. Maybe balance is the answer.
Yeah, there's a flank coming in here too. So unfortunately for Mousesports, they've got all of their heads turned forward. Shush arrives in time, but a little bit delayed. Still gets it done. The first 2 kills are his. Now Woxic, he has responded with both a frag grenade kill and then that pistol follow-up dealing with the flank. So his eyes fall forward and his feet move there too, trying to figure out where the hell they've gotten off to, whipping around with the crosshair, but he will be dropped. A 10-round disadvantage to the favor of Mad Lions. This is a masterclass on Inferno. Appreciate this.
This is just hilarious. You know, Kerrigan dies with a nade kit. He wanted to even drop the smoke, and it landed at his feet. Smoke CT for them instead, and allowed Mad Lions to entry into the site. I mean, amazing round from Mad Lions, but hilarious that Mousesports were the ones who sacrificed all of their armor just to be able to pull off a kill like that.
We're going to get the utility exchange over here on Banana. Looks like Mousesports are wanting to try and play to a faster pace. Not going to work out for them. Bubsky cuts down 2. He is 22-9, 17 rounds deep.
Yeah, quietly, right? I mean, he was working A there with Astillion, who was doing incredibly well, who also has just a ton of ADR. And yeah, they were, I mean, I didn't even really notice Bubsky had that many kills.
Yeah. He's working on it. Rob's killer headshot. Rob's has been the consistency for Mousesports this morning, afternoon, evening,
and their last series.
You know,
you can't really carry to a loss, but Rob's was the only one with a reasonable rating at the end of their last series.
Looking to save, I suppose. Gets his hands on the Galil. Scout still for Woxic. A 14th round in the bag for Mad Lions. Of course, this is their map choice, and despite having only played it twice in the last few months, I think Mad Lions may fall here more often. At least Bubsky seems to be a proponent for it. 14-3, as we said. But listen, folks, Train's up next. If this one finishes too quick for your likings, there's still plenty of Counter-Strike for you to digest.
It's honestly pretty shocking that a team with Kerrigan on it can be bad at Inferno. You know, it's especially in a world where Kerrigan has had like the strongest vetoes because he believes in playing all maps. To not play Inferno of all maps seems strange, and to not be good at it. It's not like they don't have the talent to do it or the in-game IQ. They've got Chris J and Kerrigan on the team. So it's pretty strange, but yeah, and nothing warrants a scoreline like this versus a team that's not in their tier. I mean, technically, Mad Lions right now are it's a Pimp's official Danish rating, second best team in Denmark. But
that's Pimp's words. Ooh. Bubsky gets that first kill. Frozen kind of alone on the further corner of Banana. Kerrigan's back towards the coffins. He throws his Molotov, and Bubsky actually skates right through it. Now some utility from the T's being thrown as well. Kerrigan, he hasn't spotted anything, so caught by surprise by Bubsky, who's just playing timings. Playing entirely alone. Other than that ruse created by the delayed utility, there's no real reason Kerrigan could have expected Bubsky to have been that far forward already. So Rops is not helped out by the initial B players at all. The bomb is planted, and they are going to have to just limp away from this. They are giving up a 15th round when they only have 3.
Nothing hurts more. That is actually the worst feeling.
This is the Counter-Strike equivalent of a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, I was thinking kick in the shins, but yeah, both suck. Both really suck. You know what I really hate? Those super big bed frames that they stick out farther than the mattress that you have in hotel rooms, so you always end up turning off the lights and banging your shins on them and getting into bed. That's probably what it felt like for Mousesports to have to leave on that round and hear this sound. this match point music every single round now for the rest of the match.
It's a rough roller coaster here on Inferno. Bubsky, the conductor for Mad Lions, he's having a field day. He's right in that front seat, hands up, having a hell of a time. But hey, they still have a chance. Mousesports at least with a gun round to try and fend off the scoreline with. Maybe get this one at least in the realm of a more respectable score. Frag Grenade's going to do a good job at softening up both Frozen and Kerrigan. So these poor B players have just been bullied from the get-go of the second half.
These rounds might just be for dignity, but we'll see if they can at least get some of that. They've still got Mad Lions hot on their heels on Banana. Look at this. This is a round where they rotate out to A because they're assuming Mad Lions are not going to commit hard to it, but they've still got 4 here on Banana looking to get in. Frozen on the site. This is definitely a gamble. Frozen's down to 43 health alone with the Falmus, and he doesn't have any incendiary.
Ooh, it's been a rough day in the office at this B-bomb site, and it's not going to get any easier unless Mad Lions feel a threat. But with the commitment to the utility, you know they're inbound. Frozen now from the top rope, able to get the first one. A success story versus Bubsky. That's going to be great for Mousesports because Rops comes flying through the smoke. That's what they needed, some sort of a shutdown. At least that first kill to enable Mousesports to get into position, and even Woxic locks down the line over at the A site. So unless A-Core is going to 1v5 in 20 seconds, of which I wouldn't bet my money, we have Mousesports with a 4th round. Only 11 to go.
He just saw someone cross into under. Oh wow! He saw his feet on his screen, and Woxic was just listening the whole time, expecting to be cleared probably. So yeah, it's a nice round for Mousesports, and this push through CT spawn's a very common one. It's an emergency rotate to help out your first Oranges player, who when he drops off can't really fall back to too many other locations. So they made the play they had to make, and Mad Lions did the exact same thing to them in the first half. It's common for it to work with a proper flash and the right timing. So, but the scary part is again that Mad Lions call out the rotate call out the setup perfectly.
Rops, nicely done.
Oh.
Aggression inside of Boiler works out perfectly. Mad Lions trying something different, getting up into the apps, and not expecting to be pushed back that fast. A-Core and Asilian, 2 versus 5. At this point, they still have Mousesports by the neck, so squeeze a little. Get a couple of kills here, and they'll be gasping for air even if they win the round and try and bounce back in the next.
Yeah, it's true. Whatever you can get. And do the boost onto the... Oh, they've got an Arch player to... Oh, Asilian gets the kill. Even as the guy... Okay, A-Core. Where's the H&S, my friend? Ends up dropping the jump.
Yep.
They
quaffed it.
2-on-4 situation. Yeah, quaffed it. Rob's low.
Ooh, Rob's blind.
They get pick control.
Ooh, but he walks right into Kerrigan. And then another. Kerrigan, looking better, my friend. 5 kills. After those 2, 5 rounds as well.
Yeah, it's a big increase. What amazing shots here. He had to readjust for that second kill. Let go of left click. Gave himself enough time for the recoil to reset. Landed the headshot. 10 rounds to go here for Mousesports. It's going to be one hell of a climb. They've at least got a save to go off the back of. Had the economy for what it's worth.
You know, I want to appreciate Kerrigan in that last moment. It's a small tidbit. It's just those 2 closing kills. But I think it says something about just his initiative as a player. Notice where he gets those frags from in the end at that Galil stage. We saw the player slip into Little Pit. You and I are both thinking maybe there's a chance here. But he throws himself into a dangerous spot. Oh, hold on. Just to get the job done. You know, he made sure that nothing else could come to fruition for Mad Lions. He was going to be the first person to die, but it was going to ensure their win. However, we've got something bigger to talk about. That's Bubsky and Asilian, each with a Deagle kill to get this round opened. 16-5, very real, unless the CTs can manage this retake. Bubsky just on the other side of the smoke. It's all on Woxic, and down he goes. Insult to injury, dirt in the wounds, spit in their face. My God, how is Bubsky going to do that to them? He just runs up Banana to close the map on Inferno. No, I'd say just that round is the bigger statement made across the entirety of our opening map. we never had Mousesports in this. So let's not dwell on it. We've got analysts to do that. We'll be back after the break with them and map 2 coming soon.